Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to T-Gulf Lead Insights. I think it's a great day, and with great pleasure, I would like to invite Mrs. Gauri Ishwaran, our Vice Chairperson, exclusively in conversation with Simar Singh, second place winner of the FedEx JA International Trade Challenge Asia Pacific Finals. So, Ms. Ishwaran, we would really love to have you and in conversation exclusively with Simar Singh. Would love to know about the experience she's had at the international level.
Thank you, Rahul. So, Simar, how are you feeling? You've just come back having won a second place at the Asia Pacific and global level. So, share with us what has that experience been like for you today?
Winning has definitely been surreal, and even the competition, being in that competition, interacting with people from 10 different countries has also been such a surreal and immersive experience. Starting off from the beginning, when we had those icebreakers, we got to know our teammates, and not just our teammates but all of the other 58 people that were in the competition. So that was very fun. We played games like bingo, and we also had technical checkups, so there was a lot of support from JA itself. And then as for the competition itself, from the 9th to the 11th, we were given our topic, and after we were given our topic, we usually hopped onto Zoom calls with our teammate where we sat and stared at a screen for about 10 hours a day and worked on our presentations, worked on our pitches. Besides those, we also had these entrepreneurial speaker sessions where we learned from accomplished entrepreneurs in the field. And then we were also introduced to our judges, which were accomplished entrepreneurs in their respective fields, and we got to know a little bit more about them. They shared their wisdom with us. And yeah, I learned a lot, especially from my teammates' presentations as well. So how it worked was we were divided into 3 groups, 60 kids. So from each group, two teams went ahead, and then we had 6 grand finalists. When we got the chance to be grand finalists, we were allowed to make revisions in our presentations after seeing the presentations of all of our other teammates and maybe incorporating some feedback from judges. So for us personally, we worked on making our product description a little bit clearer. So we also got an ice cube because our product was called the dust bubble. It's like an edible water bottle. So we got an ice cube and we popped that into our mouth, and that kind of gave the judges some clarity. So we incorporated a lot of their feedback, which I think ultimately led us to winning second place. And looking at all of the grand finalists presentation, it was so humbling to know that I'm in a room full of such smart young entrepreneurs, and it kind of also made me feel hopeful for our future and excited to be working with such bright minds.
Wow, that is a very interesting and amazing journey that you have been through. Now, this was a competition where at the India level, you were among the top 3 who went on to take part in the Asia Pacific Finals. And there, I must congratulate you that you were second among so many. So that was a remarkable achievement. Now, T-Gulf in the meantime did organize a number of market strategy workshops, isn't it? Now, did that help you? How did that help you in formulating your final project?
I think those workshops helped us 100%. So the way it worked is, for the regionals, instead of submitting a presentation, we had to submit a full business plan. I think it was 10, 11 pages. And there were 9 components ranging from financials to product description to promotion strategies. So during the market entry workshops that T-Gulf hosted, they actually took us through each and every element. They went in detail. For example, for promotion, they taught us, okay, you have 3 types of promotions. There are promotions to remind, promotions to inform, and promotions to educate. Financials as well, this except for the market entry strategy workshop, we had one on financial cash flow statements, because we mentioned to our T-Gulf mentors that we were having a little bit trouble with financials. So they had a cash flow workshop, and we kind of learned how to structure our financials over there. But yeah, coming back to the market entry workshop, because that was the first level, the regional level, that was very, very thorough, extremely helpful. Every single one of the 9 elements that were also there in Asia Pacific, we were taken through them very thoroughly. They made sure that we understood them. And we also had a couple of interactive questions that we could ask our presenters. So yes.
So I'm so happy that TGEL played a pivotal role in your success. All right, now reading through the details of the competition, I find one of the unusual things was that you were competitors were paired with members of other countries. So you were paired with a student from Japan. Now, how did you manage the cultural differences, the different systems of education? It would be very interesting to hear from you.
Right. So the entire process took a bit of adjustment and a lot of understanding on both of our parts. My teammate, like you mentioned, his name was Tatsuru and he was from Japan. So there was a little bit of a cultural lag between us. But to overcome this, we always did fun activities together, like before the actual competition and a little after the icebreaker session we met. We talked a little bit about our interests, we made some jokes together, we also bonded over our love for K-pop. So that was a fun little element we threw in there. And as for the actual duration of the competition itself, we were sitting together for, I would say, 8 to 10 hours per day. So we kind of got used to each other and we kind of played to our strengths. We figured out what the other person was good at, what I could do and what he could do, and we kind of went with that and then divided the work accordingly. As for the educational and as for the cultural differences, I feel like both India and Japan have a culture of hard work and perseverance. So that's definitely something that I could see in the both of us. So yeah, we worked through whatever little differences that we had, and again, a lot of understanding, a little bit of adjustment, but it all paid off in the end.
Do you think you made a lifelong friend over there?
I definitely did. I still text him to this day. He went close to the ocean today, so that's a little fun update about Tetsuru. But I definitely did, and it's so cool knowing that I have a friend who's like halfway across the world, I think 7,000, 6,000 miles. And he's also such a kind, empathetic, and understanding person, and so smart. He's going into the 10th grade right now, and I just couldn't believe it because he's like wise beyond his years.
Really, that's lovely to hear. But you know, while you went through this competition and prepared your projects, etc., what were the kind of entrepreneurial skills that interested you? And how has this competition changed you vis-a-vis the entrepreneurial attitude or approach?
Right. Okay, so as for the skills I use, number one, I would definitely say is innovation. Innovation is key to the success of any entrepreneur in any market across the world, and it definitely played an integral part in me qualifying the nationals and then winning second place at Asia Pacific. Nobody's really exploited this niche in the market, or nobody's really solving this major problem that a lot of people have or that the environment faces. So the second entrepreneurial skill that I focused on, this is a little trick anybody can use in participating in the competition, is that presentation is everything. I know for myself, last year I qualified for nationals, but I didn't make it to Asia Pacific, and everything was great. My product was great, I had my financials nailed down, but what was lacking was my presentation. It wasn't engaging enough. I was just going through data, and the judges weren't just going to sit and listen through report after report after report of data. So this time I took my learnings from last year in both the Asia Pacific and the India National round, and I focused on my presentation, and I also learned that entrepreneurs, they need to present themselves, whether it be to investors, whether it be a random person walking on the street, a customer. They need to present themselves in the best possible manner so that their company flourishes and their business flourishes. So yes, presentation is definitely key. And as for how the competition changed my view on entrepreneurship, one thing I would definitely say is my outlook on presentation. And also, it kind of informed me about how much actually goes into being an entrepreneur and starting a business, right? From finding out the proper person to manufacture your products, to what warehouse you're going to store it in, and then what stores you're going to distribute it in. So it's definitely a very long process, and it kind of gave me a deeper appreciation for anybody who runs their own business and is an entrepreneur. Um, Another thing that this entire competition taught me is that I have so much to learn from the people around me, especially cross culturally in Asia Pacific. We got to meet people from 10 different countries, and each one of them had their own viewpoint and niche skills to bring to the competition. And just listening to them and hearing their ideas, hearing the judges, and listening to them, it made me feel so humbled, first of all, that I was given such a platform to listen to so many bright young minds from across the globe, and also taught me again that I have so much to learn. This is just a big stepping stone in my journey.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. And you talk about being humbled, but I'm actually impressed and delighted that despite all the success you have had, you are humble. That's a good quality to have. Keep it for the rest of your life. So, Simar, in conclusion, something that I'd like to ask you is that what kind of a message or what is a special message you would have for future competitors who can learn from your experience?
So, my message to any future participants in competitions like this would be to really immerse yourself. Take advantage of this amazing opportunity that you have presented to you, and never ever stop learning. Find tiny details that you could use to your advantage, whether it be a storage location in Delhi, or what transportation you're going to use to ship your product from Kandla port to Merthyr port in Luxembourg. Immerse yourself in the material, look for tiny details that you can add to improve your presentation, and again, never stop learning. Even if you don't win, continue to immerse yourself in entrepreneurship, because it's something that will stay with you for the rest of your life, and it's something that's present in almost every sector of the world.
So, Simar, thank you so much. You know, I have learned a lot by listening to you, and maybe you have impacted my attitude to entrepreneurship. So, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. It was my pleasure. I'd also like to thank you and the entire TIGELF team for all of their help. And I'd also like to thank my director principal, Miss Monica Sagar, and all of my teachers at Shiv Nagar School for all the support that they've given me along the way.